Why doesn't my belly fat just go away? I'm sure you've thought about this like a million times. Like you're eating less, you're snacking less, you're probably trying to eat right, but even then, the belly fat just doesn't seem to vanish. Here's the truth. You're probably damn stressed out. Well, buckle up because I'm going to blow your mind with some science that's even wilder than a jungle chase scene. Imagine this. You're strolling through a jungle enjoying life and then whoo, suddenly a lion appears. Your body doesn't politely ask, "Excuse me, would you like to run for your life?" No. It immediately hits the panic button, activating something called the HPA axis, the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. Here's the breakdown. Your hypothalamus sends a signal through the corticotropin releasing hormone, which is then received by your pituitary, which then sends out adrenocorticotropic hormone, which finally reaches your adrenal glands and releases two main hormones, adrenaline and cortisol. Adrenaline is the sprinter. It's like, let's move. It quickly converts glycogen, which is stored fat in your liver, into glucose, which is sugar, and sends it to your brain and muscles so you can act fast. Basically, so that you can either run or fight and actually do it. And cortisol? Well, cortisol, which you may know of as a stress hormone, seems like it's stressed in itself. It's like, oh, but what if we need more fuel? Let's go to the liver and convert the proteins also into sugar, just in case we run out of glycogen stores. Now, this is all great and very much required when you're actually escaping a lion. But what if your lion is just daily life stress? Work deadlines, traffic, that one friend or boyfriend or girlfriend who texts saying that we need to talk with no context. So basically, your body keeps pumping out cortisol like you're in survival mode all the time. And here's the real problem with that. Cortisol keeps breaking down protein, as I mentioned, which means that you lose muscle and firstly become weaker. Cortisol also causes insulin resistance because insulin from the pancreas is secreted to help blood glucose pass into your cells for different functions that your cells need glucose for. So insulin is basically a doorman of the cell to allow glucose to enter. But with this excess surge of cortisol in your body, insulin also keeps trying to work, which keeps going and knocking at the doors of your cells, and your cells after some time are like, bhai, just leave us alone. And when insulin doesn't bind to its receptors on your cell, glucose doesn't enter your cell as well and remains in your bloodstream. Not just that, cortisol also stops the production of islet beta cells in your pancreas, which are the ones responsible for producing insulin. So over time, you have less amounts of insulin being produced. So now you have all this extra glucose floating in your blood and your cells aren't absorbing it. So during that time of your day when the cortisol is a little low and your insulin is able to function a bit, that insulin converts all that glucose from your blood back into glycogen stores in the liver. As I said, cortisol converts not just the fat stores but also protein from your liver into glucose. So that's fat plus protein making sugar, and then all of it together going back as fat. And you're not even really expensing that glucose because you're actually not in a fight or flight situation throughout the day. And the cycle keeps going. More stress, more cortisol, more fat storage. So there's no way but for you to experience belly fat. Now there are a few ways to combat stress and belly fat. Firstly, reduce your carbohydrates. You're already generating a lot of glucose through cortisol. You probably don't need that much. Secondly, the most important factor that I found to combat stress is sleep. Sleep well. Get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Going forward in the next video, I will talk about sleep. We're talking about how to induce sleep, how to help with proper sleep. You need it for recovery, you need it for reduced stress, you need it for relaxation, you need it for rejuvenation, and for you to feel happy and better the next day. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, comment, and save. And I'll see you in my next video on sleep. See ya!